Hi there. I'm supposed to have started, sorry, I've been playing with my computer to get the screen up. So this is a presentation about model fandom. I want to talk to you guys about what opportunities there are in Vancouver, and I want to go over a few of the shows that you might want to go to. I'm a Kaiju fan primarily, and my name's Stan Hyde. I should introduce myself. Hi, my name's Stan Hyde. And I have been part of the planning team for G-Fest, Godzilla Fest in Chicago for 30 years. And also, we have a club in town called Monster Tech Team Canada, which has been going since 1989. And I was a founding member of Vampla as well. So what I'd like to do is just go over what's available in town if you're interested in model kits, and also some things you might want to think about going to or doing if you're model hangers. Okay? So, first up, let's talk about Vampla, because you're here. Vampla is, correct me, people from Vampla. You guys meet on the third Sunday of the month, right?
Hey guys.
Michael, third Sunday of the month?
Start forward.
Your meetings. We're talking about Vampla.
Oh, we don't have any except for August because we're here.
No, I'm asking, this is for people who might want to go third Sunday of the month?
No.
No, once every month, basically.
Once every month, but it
It
changes.
depends on my real life, what time available.
Okay, so it depends on Michael's life when the meetings are. But you can find out on Facebook. Where is there any place else?
Discord.
Discord. Okay.
We meet up. We promise. We meet up.
Yeah, you guys do meet up. I've been there lots of times. So the focus is on Gundam, Gunpla, but also other anime topics. But there are people in the club who build tanks, and I've seen maybe a plane once or twice. And so, you know, everybody's welcome. Correct me if I say anything wrong. Okay. And sort of from the outside, although I'm a member, these guys are super great in terms of education. And if you've been looking at the programming this weekend on how to paint and how to build and all that kind of stuff, they're excellent in terms of learning how to model if you haven't modeled before. So I've got a few pictures from the last meeting. This was at Ninja Bubble Tea out of Coquitlam. And one of the things, again, if you haven't gone to Vampla meetings, they tend to rotate to different places like Imperial Hobbies and Ginger Bubble Tea. They've gone up to RC Pit Stop in Langley, so that they're having meetings in various locations. You guys who are watching, how many of you guys are building models right now? All of you? Whoa, excellent. Okay, so this panel is about trying to make you want to build models, okay? So as we go through, we're going to talk a little bit more about all the different kinds of opportunities you might have, and also how you can tie this hobby into things like traveling, you know, and going places, okay? You know, because you might want to do that, and it's an excuse, right?
Yeah.
So, as you can see, it's a lot of fun. So there's a lot of you who've never built a model. Oh my God, my audience is not who I thought. That's good. Okay, so the one thing that's really great, actually, if you do take the time to look around what's being built here, is that for Gundam and for a lot of models from Japan right now, say from Bandai and stuff, you don't need glue. In the old days, you had to get model glue and stuff. Everybody would be sniffing it and be woozy because the model glue would be out the whole time. You don't need glue, everything snaps together. Things are incredibly easy to build in some ways. It's a lot of fun.
Because some models still having glue.
I still use glue because there are always tons of places where it makes them stronger, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually, I kind of, because I was freaking out about my computer not working, I abbreviated my introduction. So I've written a lot of articles for Amazing Figure Modeler, which is a magazine. It used to be a physical magazine. It's changed to online for a while now. And I use glue because I tend to be locking things down for dioramas and not posing kits. So one of the things about most Japanese kits, Bandai kits in particular, they're posable. So part of the building process is thinking of cool ways to pose things. But they're also made of plastic and plastic braids. So, you pose at a risk. There's wear to the joints, and so personally, I try to find a cool position and lock it down with glue, and that's it.
Experiment already.
More about that later.
It broke in front of me.
So the club that I started called Monster Tech in Canada, that's my house, but Charlie there, he's a special effects guy, and his first movie was Fly 2. So that's the head of Fly 2, Chris Whaley special effects. And Charlie was given that because we're all older now, he was a kid on Fly 2. And the special effects guys gave him the head of the monster suit as a present, and all signed the back of it. So we tend to be figure guys. We go back to the 80s. I'm not saying that you guys are so young, but we go back to like resin and stuff. Now there's 3D printing, but we can go back to where people were pouring stuff into rubber molds and popping stuff out of rubber molds. So we go a long way back. So the beginning of the kind of figure garage kit time, there's a saying in Japan, a 3G year, was 84. Anybody know the 3 movies with a G that there might have been in 1984? Oh, I'm so young, you probably don't. Yeah.
Godzilla?
Godzilla 84 is one. Other 2 movies from 84. With G as part of the title. Yeah.
Godzilla vs. Biollante.
No, Godzilla 84 we got already. The other 2,
Biollante.
which super inspired Japanese builders, were Ghostbusters and Gremlins. Okay, so Godzilla, Ghostbusters, and Gremlins were sort of the tip of the iceberg in terms of, there's all this cool stuff out here. And I don't know how much you guys know about model kits, but it costs a lot to make the molds that these Gundam kits come in. It costs tens of thousands of dollars. What happened in the 80s was people could sculpt something with clay and make a rubber mold, and so they could create sculptures of things that maybe there would only be 50 or 80 of them. So all of a sudden the subjects that modeling could be conducted around was much bigger. We also build dioramas. This is Sunny. You can see he's built a diorama from Nazca, Princess Valley of the Wind. That's a Doom one in progress, right? Sunny's one of the things that's been kind of cool is a lot of the people who we actually have our meetings in Eric Chu's office. He was a designer for Battlestar Galactica. Sunny is a computer lighting artist for CG. So we were watching an episode of Bird Box, and he goes, "Oh, I did this one." You know? So there's a lot of film people who actually come out to things. We were also watching a little while ago. There's this old stop motion thing called. They changed their title so many times. I'm not going to be able to remember. Primeval. And Charlie goes, "Oh, when I was in LA, I went and I talked to Dave Allen when he was animating this sequence." So there's a lot of people who've worked in film and stuff like that, because the people who build monsters as a career, what they want to do is go home and build more monsters. Go figure. So one of the things that's good about a club is the other people inspire you. So this friend of mine, Craig Neufeld, a few of the things he's built, you can see the relic, a bunch of monster busts and stuff like that. And it's kind of a challenge, not really, maybe competition, not really competition. It's like you see what somebody else is good. Oh, that's cool, how did you do that? And that's one of the reasons that experiences like this are so great. Again, if you've never built a model before, I want you to build a model for next year. But you know, it's also great to hang about with people who know what they're doing and inspire you. We also do a lot of demos, just like Vampla. So this is a local science fiction convention thing where we were, helping teach people how to build and paint. I don't know what currently, I'm really big on education for models. I just got back from Japan in February, and in Japan they do such a good job of giving kids the opportunity to build model kits and finding out that it's fun, And also they give you a bit of confidence about the physical world and how to build things, because once you start doing things with your hands in 3 dimensions and building and assembling things and following instructions, you start going, "Oh wait, I can do this." I once had an expensive Mothra kit, and a piece actually fell down the sink by accident, and I had to disassemble the plumbing. So modeling taught me plumbing. It also taught me a lot about safety, but that's you're using knives and things, so you got to be really, really careful. Should I tell you a toy damage story? My kids and I, when my kids were younger, we were building in the backyard. And we were building a vinyl kit, which is like doll vinyl is hollow.
Oh.
So what you do is you don't glue pieces together and snap them off. You use a knife to trim the four spouts where the vinyl's been poured into a copper mold. And you just heat it up and then squeeze it everything together. So I know I should be cutting on a board, and I should have warmed the thing up with a hair fryer, but it was summer. So I was sitting with my kids in the backyard, cutting this vinyl, and all of a sudden I found the thin part of the vinyl because it slipped right from my point into my leg. And it was about a 2-inch number 28 exacto blade, a curved blade.
Oh.
So it's sorry, I have to borrow a chair. It's sitting in my leg all the way. And I look down and it goes boom, 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 boom. And I think, oh, that could be bad. And I'm a teacher, a theater teacher, and a creative writing teacher, and an English teacher, so I know nothing about first aid. So I went, wow, it's not painful. So I pulled it out. And at that point, when I pulled it out, all of a sudden the blood starts going goosh out. And I was looking after my 2 young children. And my wife was away, so I go, "You guys just don't leave the backyard, I gotta go upstairs." So we go upstairs, go to the bathroom, take off the pants. And boy, there's a lot of blood. I clean it up, and it goosh, and it comes back. So I clean it up, goosh, it comes back. So clean it up, goosh, it comes back. And I get into a nice rhythm of cleaning it up and having it goosh back up. And I'm feeling a little faint. So you don't have to picture this. So I walk back downstairs with blood all over my leg and no pants on. And the kids go, I think it's going to be okay. Dad's going to call an ambulance, okay? So I call 911. Fire, police, or ambulance? It's like, oh, ambulance, I guess.
I think there was like, how did that, where that damage came from? I think this is going to have a question that just try imagining it.
No, so I'm on the phone, and the woman who's on the phone with me goes, okay, the ambulance has been dispatched, what happened? Well, I stabbed myself with this hobby knife, and it was in my knee, and I popped it out, now there's a lot of blood. They go, okay, did you try putting pressure on the wound?
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, what a good idea.
Oh, good idea.
Did you try elevating your legs so it's not going up from your heart? Oh, what a good idea. I'm laying up on the couch and I'm holding onto the room and she goes, okay. So you're doing that now? I go, yeah, you guys are full of good ideas. Okay, well, in that case, the ambulance guys will be there in a few seconds. So, a few minutes, actually, my daughter looks at me and with my leg on the couch with the bloody leg, and she goes, Dad, are you going to die? I go, no, sir, I don't think so. 911 gave me lots of good advice, so I think I'm going to be okay. She said, Dad, you cannot die. And that made me feel like my heart had expanded, which was dangerous. but it made me feel much better, right? And she goes, Dad, you cannot die because Mom is not here. And Owen and I have not eaten lunch yet. So luckily my heart went back to normal size and a couple of blood out. And a few minutes later, and the ambulance guys arrived. So they come in and go, oh, so Mr. Hyde, what were you doing when you stuck a knife in your leg? And my son goes, we were building the mole man. And holds up this unfinished bottle of the mole man from Universal Mars. And the two ambulance guys look at each other like, ooh, we got a live on this stuff. So they look after me and they put some suture tape on and they don't have to take me to the hospital because I'm going to be okay. And before they go, they say, so, Mr. Hyde, which is my name, by the way, like Dr. Deborah. So, Mr. Hyde, were you ever a Boy Scout? What the hell? I didn't know that ambulance guys came with quizzes. Yeah, I was a Boy Scout. When you were a Boy Scout, did they ever teach you about knives?
Knives?
Yeah, they did. Okay, what's the first thing you learned about knives when you were a Boy Scout? Don't cut toward yourself. They go, aha! So the thing about this hobby is, you do use knives, you do use glue, you do use dangerous chemicals. It's so much fun. And some people seem to especially like dangerous chemicals. Like, I use non-toxic glue, and I've heard people say, oh, that doesn't stick. You have to use the toxic kind. I think they're inhaling the glue. Right? Anyhow, so we do teaching sessions about how to, I got one other dangerous product that you will use. Super glue. Since I've got you here, you can learn from my stupidity. Probably none of you have had super glue in your eyes. So one of the other guys in the club, he was, for some reason, wanting to be cool. And so he was opening a super glue, and they have a little plastic kit that you knock off. And he was like he was Humphrey Bogart or something in a film noir. He flipped it off with his finger, and the glue shot right in his eye. Oh. And he did the one thing you should never do when you're working, if you get super glue in your eye. He blinked.
Oh, no.
So it lost. And the problem is when glue goes, and if pieces go off, they generate heat because the molecules are all lining up.
Yeah.
This would be a science class, but they're all lining up. So it was agonizingly hot, and he had to go into the hospital. And so they could, use saline solution to get his eye open again. Oh. Luckily, this is what I'm telling you this story. Luckily, I had heard his stupid people trip story. So on one afternoon when I was working on a diorama, I was trying to get two pieces of wood together. Oh, and I should say, this is not good, but these are my safety glasses. So I'm trying to get these two pieces of wood to go together, and there's some sticks, and there's sort of think of it as super glue layer cake. The super glue is the icing. And I can't get it, and I take my glasses off so I can see a little better, I can't get it again. Suddenly it slips, bang, and the super glue shoots out of my eye. And I think Peter blinked. Peter blinked. Okay, don't blink. Don't blink. I gotta get water in my eyes. Where? I'm in the backyard. I gotta walk through the basement, up the stairs, to the bathroom, and don't blink. Don't blink. And you'll be happy to know if you do get super glue in your eyes or put water, it just turns into these crystalline, really painful things that you can blink out of your eye. Okay? So, you know. By the way, this also works for nail glue. Because I was a drama teacher, and one night I'm watching the kids doing their play, and the girl comes up and goes, Fred didn't like his makeup, so he tried taking it off, but then it fell off. So one of the girls took nail glue, and they tried to put it on, but it all spilled in his eye. They go, I'm coming. So rush in the back, and one kid's going, oh! You know, it's okay, you're going to be okay. But it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. It's like, you're going to be okay, come here. And we had a big thing, so just put your, and it just spray water all over. By that time, the principal is there. Do we have to take him to the hospital? Yeah, it's all right. So modeling teaches you all kinds of life skills. Just don't really say one deal. Okay. As you can see, people hang out, they look at each other's work, they talk about what they're doing. That's a good social excuse for people to get together. There's a lot of males, but there are female modelers too. I tried my best to find pictures, but I didn't have pictures for this set. But I mean, at IPMS, there's this one girl who builds planes. She is treated like a princess. It's like, whoa, you're so good at that. And there is a kind of, bias in that, right? Like, oh, girl can't build a model or something like that. But there are lots of female modelers and lots of female sculptors. And, so gender is not a barrier, even though there might be more guys in these pictures than women. So I'm a monster guy. So I like to build like zombies, and especially Japanese kaiju. Okay, so that's Gauss and Iran, and that's Varan. Is
that Space Gauss?
That is Space Gauss.
Okay.
The silver one, Space Gauss, yes. Thank you for correcting me on that. And one of the things we do that's really lots of fun, you are super lucky because you live in a city that still has model stores and still has toy stores. Because there are lots of cities, especially in the US, we have guests, Tokusatsu, who's one of the most famous diorama builders in the world, and Toshio Miike, who's the production designer for Toho movies, and they wanted to see a model store in Chicago. And like the model store we went to was so pathetic, and Yamada's a friend of mine, so he sees pictures of model stores here in Vancouver, and I think he thought, oh, we're in America, and it's like, it'll be really cool, and it's like, how can I tell you, Yamada-san? America sucks. The model stores you are so lucky here that there are so many different model stores still. So we have this thing called toy crawls, where we go from one model store. It's really just encouraging yourself to spend money, right? Oh, you should get that. No, I shouldn't. No, look at that. It's really bad. It's really evil. And this was even a day where I think 3 of us, we ended up like on some Saturdays, 5 of us will come in and another 5 will be there. There'll be 10 people all of a sudden because they're doing toy crawls too. So there's all kinds of cool places to check out. Sakura Media, Imperial Hobbies, Waifu, oh God, I'm going to blank on this. There are so many places, J-Toy. So you can really have a nice afternoon or two just buying stuff. Oh, Z Workshop, which is new. Yeah. Waifu Hobby. There's Gary from Waifu pointing out, this is it, walking in the store. It's good to know the owners, except it's bad to know the owners. I don't know if any of you know Joey, who used to run a workshop, but his taste in mecha and mine are almost the same. So he would say something like, look what I just got in, it's like, no. Everything he got in was something I thought was cool, right? So the other thing is, besides checking all this stuff out with your friends, you get to see other people's building, in the windows and stuff like that. So you get more inspiration. Yeah. So you can see where monsters got. Slander the Giant, the Creature, and Barnabas Calls. IPMS. So There are 3 model clubs. Okay, so Van Club, Michael will tell you when the meetings are. Monster Tag Team Canada, we've been going since 1989. Our meetings are on Saturday night. You can tell we're not cool anymore. We used to be on Sunday night. What about Saturday? Then nobody has to get off for work the next day. I was like, yeah, but isn't Saturday a day where you go out and it's not? No, we just want to talk about model kits. So we moved it to Saturday night. And IPMS is, again, the 3rd Friday of the month. You know, so once again, it's people that have no party to go to, but they want to talk about model kits. So, you know, if you're really worried about your coolness, maybe this isn't the thing for you, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, IPMS means International Plastic Modeling Society, okay? And they meet on the 3rd Friday of the month at Monster Rec Center. They are mostly focused on historical topics like tanks and planes and cars, and they used to be really abusive. Like, we used to go to their show, and they would, you know, we bring in our monsters or something, and they go, oh, you brought your dollies. Or they'd say something like, that's a model kit? I thought a model kit was a scale reproduction of a real thing. It's like, Godzilla's real, man. He's got in the suit. Okay, but they're much better and much more tolerant, and there are gunpla builders there. There are anime builders there. There's crossover, and plus you can learn things from tank guys. You know, if you're building giant monsters, they have dust all over them because they're giant monsters, and they're running around on a set with all dirt in it. And the tank guys are really good with dirt. You know, putting dirt on things. So you can learn from everybody. They also sponsor a regular show in October. So I just want to prove these are from IPMS, okay? So they're really cool paint on the Gundam kit. Ultraman, actually my friend George was building that Ultraman because he was going to meet Ben Ferrugia, who was the guy in the suit. And he wanted him to sign it, so he left a big space on it so that he could get Ben Ferrugia. He did it too. Well, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So, you know, these are all things that were on the tables there. This is something I built. It's just one of those 30-minute fantasy figures. But I thought he needed a dog, you know, so it was time to give him something to help out. They have this thing called the Big Mouth. And the idea is every so many months, everybody's supposed to build the same kit. And a lot of the kits don't have much appeal to me. It will be like the T, whatever. Isaac, are you there? What's an Abrams?
That's the current American main battle tank.
Does the Abrams have a number? Like
M1A2, the current one.
Okay, so Isaac, who's the gunpla builder, is also a member of IPMS.
My friend Cho, who won the tank category. So the winner gets to choose the next category set.
Right.
The reason why I chose it is it forces him to build the big radio-controlled Tamiya tank. And he knows that I have one that's 99% finished, and I'm infamous for not finishing my kits, because I hate painting. So it forces me to finish mine. That's why.
So you're going to meet people like Isaac, who you can also meet here. Okay, but the point is that the Big Mouth is everybody builds the same thing. Well, that we suggested, what about an anime and manga one? Because last year we started the first science fiction. Okay, so finally we're kind of pushing in that direction, not just saying I didn't mean to make it like Hanks or that thing, like, okay? Just so you know that. I didn't mean to make it sound like Hanks or that thing.
No, I'm right. Here's a Gundam-based tank.
Oh, that's a Gundam-based tank. An anime-based tank. There we go.
Yeah.
It's a fanny one. So, and one of the things about going there is, first of all, you recognize two guys in the corner who are also VAMPO members, like me. We go there. As well as that, you meet people who do this incredible work in terms of like lighting up spaceships and stuff like that, and doing the weathering on them and everything like that. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you can learn that also applies to Gundams, right? So the show is in October, and it's changed from Model Contest to the Scale Model Fest. The idea is people show off their models. There is a contest. The kids are judged. Again, for people who aren't modelers, what happens in model judging is you look and see if all the bits have been properly taken off and sanded and cleaned, and you can't see them, and it looks like a real thing, and the paint's properly applied, etc., right? But you don't have to do that. You can just take your models in and show them at this point. So the idea is for to celebrate modeling, but it's also good to have your work judged at times. You know, like show competition is kind of, it's inspiring. You get ideas and go, oh, that would be good for a show. So these are some of the mecha from and anime topics that are in some of the more recent shows. So especially the show, by all means, anime is welcome. Oh, it's another Gundam tank. Well, kinda. It can change. It's got arms. But yeah, anyways. You get the idea. I love the wearing big guard running away. There was a lot of work actually involved in making him run like that. I know because I built it. I didn't bother to do that. So there's diorama work. There's individual models. Think about. It's a good thing. It's actually a fun thing to come out. I forget when you pay to go in, but you don't pay very much. So even if you're just there to kind of be a spectator and look at stuff, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, so I had to trade in my.
So, I said before, one of the fun things about this hobby is that you can travel. So, I've got 3 events here that you might want to think about coming to. G-Fest has been held for 30 years in Chicago, and it celebrates Japanese monster movies primarily, Kaiju, like Godzilla and Gamera, that's why it's G-Fest. But also Tokusatsu, which is Japanese special effects. Okay, so Ultraman, Kamen Rider, etc., etc. There's this is the story. The big dealer's room full of monsters. More Bandai Godzilla figures than you can easily imagine. I mean, this is like, oh, yeah, this is the whole deal. It's like the figure, you can't take the card off. You get little plastic protectors to put over the card because you, I don't get it. I cut off the cards and play with them. I had kids. Here, Zebra, play with them. Yeah. So, but there are also model companies that come to G-Fest. Kaiju Modeler is one of the biggest. I want to. And there's also model show. So the Millennium Godzilla bus is full size. It's a 3D print that my friend Benny made, and he lives in San Francisco. So I was going, oh, you gotta bring it to Chicago, man. It's like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna drive this here, but you gotta bring it to Chicago. So he found a way to fit it in a box and fly with it, which is just like awesome. So we have lots of different monsters on the table. Megaguirus, dioramas, like that one with Kong, Godzilla, and Rodan fighting Ghidorah. These are mostly resin kits, okay? Some of these are vinyl kits, so they're made out of solid plastic. Yeah, sometimes a road test, so it's hollow, but what's starting to change things a bit is 3D printing. There'll be more 3D printing coming into that. Because of the way they're produced, they're super expensive. So you might be lucky to find something for $100, but probably you're looking at $300, $400, $500, $700, depending on the figure. At the latest Wonderfest, the prices seem to be going up a little bit, but you know, it was pretty common to see $400 and $500 figures. Part of the reason for that is they're poured out of rubber molds, and those molds get torn apart really fast. You can only do so many pulls, so you're really buying a limited art piece, right? You know, so that's one of the reasons it's so expensive. And there, again, some incredible creativity. the Godzilla chess set with the characters from Destroy All Monsters, right? So we got the humans on one side and the Earth monsters and the flying saucers and space monsters on the other side. And the woman from Shark.
Oh,
I was saying 3D printing. These guys, anybody familiar with Gamera?
yeah.
Gamera is a giant flying turtle from Atlantis, okay? And he's got all these enemies that are really weird, okay? What my friend Ken has done is he's taken them all and 3D sculpted and 3D printed them as people. So it's like a game, you know, just hanging out. And they're all, it's Baragon, oh God.
Jiger.
Jiger. I was looking at the virus. Huron and come on.
Zegron.
Zegron, yeah. So my favorite is Minya, Godzilla's son. Not Kazuki. Kazuki grew up in Hanna-Barbera. I was in Japan in February, and I was hanging out with a guy named Furuwara who runs Astro Zombies in Osaka, and we were looking at a garage book, and he turns to me and goes, "What is Godzuki?" and it's because, like, Americans will look at Godzilla's son and go, "Oh, Godzuki," which is like, shut up, no. It's Minila, little mini Godzilla, Minya. But Godzuki was Hanna-Barbera, so it's like I'm trying to explain it for a while. Well, there was this cartoon, see? It was sort of like Scooby-Doo, but Godzilla. We give out these medals for everybody's work. It's basically the contest judges how good your work is. Gold, silver, and bronze are because you're gold, silver, and bronze. So it's not just one gold. There are some prizes up above those for people who like best of show, where the people's choice and stuff. But the main thing is just to recognize the quality of everybody's work.
Oh, Omega.
Why else might you want to come to Chicago? There's a really cool costume show. Basically, you have to live until you've seen 27 Mothras running around place. Wait, and the fan, I lead a sing-along at the end of the convention. So it's not just 27 Mothras, it's 100 people who are, Mothra, you know, singing the song, and nobody's hassa, kuya, no move. I'm not going to do it. So anyways, multiple monsters in the corner. Oh, alien guts from Ultra 7, that's Gyra. You guys don't need to know this. Oh, if anybody saw Kong, Godzilla X Kong, that's Shimo.
Yeah, Shimo.
I love Shimo. I was so happy at the end of it that Shimo was okay. And she was happy and free again. I don't remember having quite the bus size she has in that costume. And Super 8 had a room this year. So Super 8 produced Ultraman and all these other Tokusatsu shows. You notice my friend Martin and Ultraman, they're doing it right. But I'm backwards, so I'm about to blast myself. So it was really fun. They brought a bunch of monsters along too.
Oh.
And they brought, you were just talking about Matt Frank, artist for IGW, hanging out with Jared. And Hiroko Sakurai was there as a guest that they brought along too, from Fuji, from Ultraman, 1966. So hopefully some of you have seen it. Of course, it's 1966, so mostly Fuji gets to make coffee. And there's one where she has a whole episode that's sort of about how girls really like pearls, but there's this monster that's eating all the pearls. But, you know, things get better.
She was really good in Ultraman Max.
Yeah. She's really nice. I'm with Shinichi Wakaza. He's a suit designer. And over there, if anybody's seen the original Gamera, that's that guy who played Kenny. Okay, so Kenny was like 12. Kenny's really old now, just like me, but we were 12 once, okay? And then Steve Rifle and Ed Gutierrez just did this incredible book, Godzilla 70 Years, that came out. Just the best book ever done on Godzilla. Yeah.
Is it better than the official compendium released
Oh yeah.
in 2000?
Ed got access to all the stuff that Toho still had.
So it's a must-have at this
It's a
point.
must-have book, and it's really well written. Yeah, it's really well written. I think I paid 75 American for it.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to remember the exact title. It's Godzilla 7 Years. It's this one here. Red book with Godzilla -1 on the cover. Super great. Really, like I know all this stuff, and I was still going, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, so another place you might want to go is Wonderfest Japan. I'm going to do a longer thing tomorrow about the trip to Japan, but I have organized a bunch of Japan trips. Sometimes as a high school teacher to take film students and Japanese language students to Japan. Sometimes as a Godzilla fan we went to the premiere of Shin Godzilla 2016. And last year in February we did a model tour. So the idea was to go to Wonderfest, but also to go to a bunch of other model locations. I'll talk more about the other things tomorrow, because there's a bunch of cool things that happened. But this is just, you can go to Wonderfest. It's a one-day event where basically all the guys who are sculpting what are called garage kits, because you do them in your garage or in your attic or in your basement, somewhere where people can't smell their own taking on. And there's just hundreds of thousands of people. Well, and also big lineups. But I work with really good tour guides, okay? So they had talked to the guy who's the head of the festival, and he had advised them. So every time we came to a line like that, our guide would go, we have these tickets, and they'd point. When we finally got to where we were supposed to be, we were like 200 people from the entrance. And we'll try to work that out again. In 2027, we're going to do it again. But I felt almost bad because there's a lot of people who, like, as soon as it opens, they run in there because they have a favorite sculptor and they're going to buy something that, you know, we were right at the front. I was just like, whatever. I just want to look at cool stuff.
Rush forward.
Yeah.
Rush for the life.
So, it's 3 buildings about that size. And it's both sculptors who are maybe only selling a piece or two, and companies like Bandai, X Plus, Kodokukaya, with big things about what's coming up, what's it going to do. I was lucky enough, my friend Hiroshi Sagai, who besides working in films and sculpting toys, he also taught at Osaka University, so he made all his students run a table and sell their artwork at Wonderfest every year. That was one of the end projects for his class. So he was a friend, so it was like, you can sneak in with me, you know? We had a pass-through. So it was like, I felt terrible because if you haven't been in Japan in summer, it's really hot. So I was this magnificently sweaty gaijin who would come and sit at the table where all of Hiroshi's students were, primarily female, and they would all grab fans and make a circle around me and fan me. And I couldn't figure out if it was just disgusting or if it was kind of cool. I've decided kind of cool. But yeah. Anyhow. So you can see, these are some of the guys, this is back in 2016, that's why. You can see the look of avarice on their faces. I thought I'm a hiker. I had no idea how much money they were going to spend. They were just like, the bus was loaded up with stuff. I need to get 2 or 3 things, you know, cool things, but it was like, oh my God, it's evil. So I'm just going to step through a few. There's Hiroshi and oh, it's Matt Frank again, cartoonist, and these guys are in a band that did some music for a friend's art project. But so I'm just going to step through some of the things, and you can see the guy in the middle is Canadon from Ultra Q. He's the monster that eats money.
Yes.
Oh, this was really weird. This was this February. So I like Mecha too. So there was this photos thing. So I was sitting there and I went, wow, out loud. And right beside me, a guy goes, wow, out loud. And I turned around. And it was Max Watanabe, who was like, Flamo and Max Factory. It's like, Watanabe-san! Oh. Photo kudasai? And so I ended up getting a photo with Max, which he's probably been used. Who was that guy? We're on Facebook together. Shinzen is a really awesome sculptor. And the thing about Wonderfest is that there's just every kind of model kit, you know, from anime subjects to monster subjects to American subjects to just amazing artwork. Like these guys. What the hell does it mean? Doesn't matter. Or a whole bunch of kittens, you know, with guns and stuff. So, you know, it's like, wow, those are cool. That's Okamoto-san. This is X Plus. They do a lot of vinyl figures. They also do inspiring model kits now. And I didn't know that when I took this picture of the Mothra girl that she's a famous cosplayer, but it's like, yeah, she is. I found since she's on my Facebook page now. But it was just like random. Oh my God, it's Mothra with fangs. Scary. And just imagine you're here and you're looking at cool stuff and it goes on forever. And there's no possible way you can look at all the cool stuff that's there. And that's pretty much what it is. It's quite impressive. A lot of these guys are the sculptors. So yeah, and there's a whole building devoted to stuff that's up there. That's a full-size Predator bus. Oh, and you run into people you know. That's Shinji Higuchi, yeah, that's the director of Shin Godzilla. So I know Higuchi-san. So Katsui Fujiwara is a suit designer, and we'd invited him for supper. And all of a sudden, as we were walking through here, Stan-san, so sorry. And it's like, oh, it's okay. You couldn't come. And then it turned out it was my friend Ryuki, who was an Ultraman performer and actor, and Shinji Higuchi, who directed like Attack on Titan. Let's forgive him. We have to do live action, right? Okay, but Shin Godzilla and Gamera and Shinobu Matsumura, who's a sculptor. So it was like, cool. We're all geeks. See, that's why they're making those movies, because they're monster kids too.
I mean, the Shin Godzilla release again on the 4K this month. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm gonna watch it.
And actually, I just heard that Higuchi is going to do a 4K restoration. He's going to advise the 4K restoration of Gamera from the 1990s.
Oh, no.
Gamera versus Legion.
Oh, the power went up. The mother. No. Oh, they're back on again.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people, but it's a lot of fun. So Wonderfest USA, there is also Wonderfest in North America. It's not as big, but it's still pretty cool. And it's the biggest fantasy model event in North America.
When are we gonna get one for the Canada one?
I know we should have Wonderfest Canada.
Yeah.
So this is the lineup to put models on the table. And like 7 in the morning, and there was like 200 people standing in line to put models out.
Wow, Space
Yamato.
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 Yeah.
A really big one.
Ooh, Space Yamato.
So this is held in Kentucky in June, Louisville, Kentucky. And they have the biggest spaceship show of all. They have lots of classic monsters. The anime mecha section is big, but they'd like it to grow bigger. So if you're building mecha, they'd like you to go there. One of the things that's really cool about it is a lot of the people who build there are in the film industry. So one of the Trek models that was on there was actually a Trek model built by a guy who was working off a card. So it became the card ship. And so this year, the ship had been redone because the CG model didn't quite look like the one he originally built, so they upgraded it. So, you know, there was one lunch where I was ending up sitting with the guy who was in charge of the restoration of Star Trek The Motion Picture, a guy from NASA who was an expert in basically alien life and detecting it through telescopes. A guy who was a friend of Bob Burns, who collected all this different memorabilia and stuff. So it's just like, whoa, this is really cool. You know, so there's some interesting people that you can meet in all of this, which is another reason why you might want to build model kits. And there's some really cool kits.
Oh,
so this diorama from -1. Oh well, this is the dealer's room.
Oh.
It's a little smaller than here, but the stuff is really good. And there were some Jawas hanging around. I kind of get the idea with, you know, so if you've seen 2001, you know, here's Clavius, and the thing's actually landing in it. Like, there's just really cool stuff in terms of the kids are on display. It's inspiring in terms of painting, you know. So there's people who are using light in ways that are not realistic, which is cool. That's real light, actually. People who design light boxes and stuff that you can use. Lots of monsters. This was cool. So it's a kit of Haruo Nakajima, and the Godzilla can go on top like a Russian nesting doll. So you can pull it off, he's there.
Oh.
If you know anything about that movie, it's really hot in Japan. So he didn't want to wear the suit all the time, so they made like pants that were like adult pants, you know. Oh, anybody explain what this kit is for me? Well, first of all, do you recognize who it is? It's Lucille Ball. Yes. Why is Lucille Ball in an Enterprise uniform in an Enterprise command ship? Because Desilu Studios, Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, who were married, were the company that produced Star Trek originally. They were where Star Trek was shot. So this is a kit, tribute kit. And you see over in the corner, tribute kit of Jim Henson and Thurman.
Hey Stan.
Yeah.
I thought Lucille, I thought Star Trek was done by another company and she saved it from cancellation. Was it always from her company?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know it was shot at Desilu. NBC, they did a second pilot. She might have been involved in insisting that the second pilot.
Because I remember hearing that she was instrumental in Star Trek.
There's a lot of kids with girls in like monster costumes. Go figure.
They already actually had to sign in.
I'm just gonna say.
One part is I was not rolling. Yeah. And I was still rolling.
So this is that really big Max Factory Macross thing.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
Is it transformable for that one?
No, you have to buy 3.
Oh no! I want it transformable.
I know. And I briefly considered buying 3, and I eventually went, no, I'm not doing it. But you can see how much creativity there is on the tables. It's really amazing shit. If you have a question, you shout out. I'm conscious of the time. I want to make sure. That's the other incredible thing there is all the spaceships are lit up. You look, you look and there's lights, and then you look inside and like all the screens and everything are lit up inside too. That's like amazing. This was a competition to take a shuttlecraft and change it into a different theme. So there's one like Ghostbusters and there's one like Lost in Space. And this is the studio where they're making Star Wars special effects. So if you look really carefully, there's all the technicians and all the lights, and at one end was the Millennium Falcon.
Oh.
It's like, I'm not worthy. This was a near effect model where Reagan turned into a demon using the reflection.
Oh.
And over on that side, that barrel was life size. So that zombie inside the tar man inside the barrel was like, was like. So you get the idea. There's all kinds of cool stuff out there, and what's really cool about it is you get to make it yourself. you know, and that is both relaxing and I think it's important that, you know, art is not something, some people would say craft, but craft or art, it's not something that only a certain class of people do. It's something that anybody can do. You know, and creating things is being a maker is a really good thing, you know. So encouraging that is something that I really like to do. So hopefully everybody will think about, oh, maybe I can make something next time. It's not a model kit, it's a costume, or it's a painting, or it's, you know, but try. The biggest problem with it is you're your own worst critic, because you know what you like and you know what good is. So the problem will be you'll look at your stuff at the start and go, it's not as good as I wish it was. But that actually means you'll get better, right? You've got a critic inside who already knows what kind of thing they're trying to achieve. So I managed to get a gold and a bunch of bronzes at Wonderfest, so I was very happy. Flying down here with my kids is terrifying, but I figured out a way to pack a suitcase so I can get things too. So it's a lot of fun to build. So, we're running out of time. You guys are supposed to be up here, aren't you?
What time is it?
Gonna take 5 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead. We just give us a little bit of time to set up, but then
Okay.
figure it out.
Oh, am I to 7:30?
Yeah. Only seven.
I'm rushing. Okay, I'm gonna slow down. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is, do you guys have any questions so far? Been really polite. You just needed a place where somebody was talking to you could sit down. Questions? Yeah, Charles.
So during the modeling contest at G-Fest,
Yeah.
does someone big, like let's say a suit designer like Shinichi Wakasa, go around and help with the judging?
Sometimes. It can be a problem. You know who Yuji Sakai is? He's like
Oh
the best,
my
he's
god!
the best Godzilla sculptor ever, and one time we asked him to judge, and the first thing he said was, there's nothing good enough for me to get the prize. It's like,
Really?
oh, Sakai-san, we have prizes. We have to give out the prizes. We really want to give out the prizes. So he goes, oh, I understand. So we ran around. Afterwards, he had mostly given prizes to people who had built his stuff. So I and one of the other judges went around afterwards, and I'll explain why that might be. But we went and gave other awards out because there weren't enough awards out there. It's tough with sculptors. Some sculptors don't even like to see their stuff painted because they've sculpted it. So I know a lot of sculptors who say, I'd rather see it as a bronze. I'd rather see it in silver because then there's no annoying painting to distract you from the sculpting. But the thing about sculpting is, the fun part for me is taking that and painting it so it's unique, you know? So it is, yeah, so the answer is yes, sometimes it does. Years ago at G-Fest, we got Haruo Nakajima and Kenpachiro Sasuna, who were the judges of the costume show, and those are the two guys who were in the Godzilla suit, you know? And the best costume there was Gamera, hands down. But as they were giving out awards, they said together, well, this is G-Fest, so Godzilla Fest. So we gave the prize to a Godzilla costume that wasn't as good as Gamera. And it's like, guys, Gamera is also cheap. You know? But they, you know, they work for Toho. There's a rivalry. So anyway, so sometimes they're not the best. They're not always.
That makes sense.
They're helpful, and it was nice of them, but sometimes they're not the best. So, me. If for any reason you want to talk to me, particularly if you think you might want to go to Japan in February 2027 for Wonderfest, I'm on Facebook at Stan High. You can contact Stan High at Telesnet, Instagram as Stan Cyclops. Okay? It's one eye, right? But if people have questions or want to know about any of the clubs that I mentioned, want to know details about any of the events and things, you can give me a ring. Monster Tag Team, we have a Facebook page called Monster Attack Team International. The club is called Monster Attack Team Canada. But the problem was the American sculptors and the Japanese sculptors would go, well, we're not Canadian. which was like irrelevant, but okay. So we changed it to international, so we never had to explain, oh no, but you can play with us. It's okay, Mr. Yamada, if you want to pose, you can pose, okay? So anyways, we meet once a month. We meet, right now we have a secret base, a studio where they used to work on Battlestar Galactica. My friend Eric is retired, so they don't need to use the studio anymore for film. So it's a really sweet meeting place. So we meet once a month, we build, talk, there's a giant TV, a bunch of people end up watching trailers probably. But, you know, we do online, if you get interested in this, share your in-progress work, ask questions, we like to hear you.
It was a Twitter.
I shot past one thing that I was going to mention. There's also a site online, Kaiju Castle with a K, Kaiju Castle. Very well-known modeler, very good modeler, diorama builder, passed away with Kaiju Castle for last year. And what we're trying to do with Kaiju Castle is create an educational foundation to get kids interested in building models. So at this point, there's Grace, in the memory of Robert Crowe, her husband, is going to try to help out at Wonderfest and G-Fest in terms of stuff for kids. So we already do education at G-Fest. You know, we have a mega take where people learn to paint. They get us to paint. And we have someone who teaches how to sculpt with sculpting and stuff. But we're probably going to make that bigger and do more how-to models as well. So if you do come, if you have young people, the whole idea is, and G-Fest is a kind of a family event. I don't know what, you know, there's all kinds of different conventions, but Monster Kids date from, like, Universal released a package of their monster movies back in 1957 to TV. And there's a whole generation. My kids were so disappointed. We started going to conventions, and my kids were going, we thought you were special and weird. Yeah. But all these people are weird just like you. So there's like a whole generation of us who grew up with these monster movies and guys dressed as vampires. Oh, this is going to be really scary, kids, you know, on TV, showing them and stuff like that. But one of the things with G-Fest was a friend of mine who I got to come for the first time. He goes, oh man, I go to these Universal monster conventions and everybody's there with like a walker, you know? But Godzilla, there's all these kids, and it's true. Like G-Fest is a really family-oriented thing. There's lots of kids, there's lots of families. There's a very even gender mix to a large degree. It's pretty cool. You gotta get a ticket to Chicago. Think about it. Anyway. I run another Facebook page called Facebook Monsterland, which is the one that's the biggest one. It's a Kaiju and Giant Monster fan page. You may not know that it's traditional to have books that have the interior insides of monsters. It dates back to the 1960s. I find it charming. I have pictures of monster guts all over the place. Other people may not share my enthusiasm. I was a little kid in 1970 in Japan, and while the other kids were buying cameras, I was going through the books and stuff. And I pointed out these books with these great monster drawings, and it showed, like, you know, Godzilla, you know, inside and how he functions and stuff. It's like, I need this. Crazy guy, kid, what? Need this. So, anyhow, the Facebook Monsterland is just all about Tokusatsu, Ultraman, Godzilla. Giant monsters, anything bigger than about Harryhausen's lemurs, you know, let's say 50 feet. Monster Fighter International Headquarters, that's for all the other monsters, because I felt bad there were only Japanese monsters on the site. So, same thing, fan reviews, news, toys, opinions, etc. There's some model content. Okay, that, you guys know who she is, right? Who is it?
Dracula.
You just did that on purpose. Who is it really?
Medusa.
Yeah, but from where?
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, the Clash of Titans by Ray Harryhausen. There's a life-size figure that was made for a museum in London, celebrating Harryhausen's work. Okay, it's stop-motion animated. That's all that's on there. You guys have any questions? What? I heard.
Hi, I have a small question.
Yes.
Quite recently, I realized that it is more and more difficult to buy some high quality model consumable. For example, the model spine from Mr. Hobbit was branded by some silly environmental quality. So, as a modeler, do you have any workaround for us? Or?
In terms of getting stuff?
Yeah.
And you're talking about modeling tools, right?
Yes.
Because
We are more and more difficult to get some high quality consumable. For example, some spine, they say that they are good.
oh, like Tamiya is not allowed in Canada anymore. Yeah.
It's more difficult to do so. Do you have any suggestion for us?
Going to Japan is always a good one. I mean, I do a lot of dealing with Hobbyland Japan, which is an American who moved over there who was kept getting asked to get models for friends, and so he built it into a Japan business, right? You know, but I assume the problem with buying, I mean, they have lots of tools and paint and stuff, right? But I assume the same problem is if you got cans of Tamiya coming over, they probably aren't shipping them by air, they probably might find them and give you a hard time. So in some ways, that the answer is, you know, it's not, I mean, and we're, with Tamiya sprays, down in Washington State, I guess Oregon actually, 10 years ago, I got told by some people, oh, we can't use it. You should come down and bring Tamiya with you so we can buy it off, because we don't have it in the styrene kits, though, I mean, are getting to be amazing. I mean, besides Bandai, and I'm a monster guy, right? I'm a Kaiju guy. Besides Bandai kits, which are these incredible snap-together kits that, like, they really snap together. I'm old enough, I remember what snap-together kits were, like, they had big holes in them and nothing snapped, right? But besides that, right now, there's this incredible styrene stuff coming out from UYGLZ and Hiroshima and Hasegawa. So for me, this coming next couple quarters, Kyoto has done a 54 Godzilla sculpted by Shinobu Matsumura, who's one of the guys that was in that picture I showed you. And it's amazing. I mean, he's fighting a train and he's knocking over a bridge. It's only about so high, but it's styrene. It's like a Gundam kit. And they kind of fall, you know how Gundam kits are built in layers with, you know, say master grades have inner frames, and then you're snapping on the outside. Well, basically, they're taking that in order to deal with the complex curves of something organic. They're creating an inner frame, and then the skin comes on and fits, just like they might be fits on a Gundam kit, so that they can produce really complex curves and stuff like that. So Art Club, which is a great company. Art Club has done a lot of Evangelion, but they've also done like super weird stuff, like they've done the Tower of the Sun from Expo 70 with the inside of the Tower of the Sun, so it's like they open it up and there's a tree of life, dinosaurs and stuff. It's like an evolutionary thing. I was there when I was a kid. But I mean, it's about this high, but it's not the whole interior. They're just doing back amazing stuff. So they're doing Godzilla, but Hasegawa was doing a 1989 Godzilla, and Hiroshima is done, they're bringing out a Godzilla -1, but I've just seen prototypes for Destroya and for Godzilla Millennium. So like, there's all this styrene stuff coming out. UYGLZ is doing like all the Universal monsters. They're doing stuff from Devilman now, styrene. I just saw, you guys know who Frank Frazetta is? Yeah, I know. Famous illustrator. So there's an old cover of a Warren magazine that's the Wolfman versus Dracula, which are original Frank Frazetta drawings. They've just done a kit of that. They've just announced it. So there's all kinds of super great styrene coming out, mostly from Japan, but also Canadian company just put out giant gorilla movie model Konga that just came out. There's a lot of cool stuff, you know, as well as men. And yeah.
Oh, we're gonna give it our G festival over here on Canada. We guys really want to see it.
Oh, G-Fest in Canada.
Yeah, I want one so bad.
You know, G-Fest is actually, the people who organize it, a bunch of them are Canadian.
Wait, yeah, Stan, isn't it published in like
It's probably
Toronto?
It's Steinbeck, Manitoba.
Manitoba? That's
Magazine.
right.
So JD, who started the convention, comes from Steinbeck. So we have tossed out the idea of doing an American or Canadian convention, and the dealers always go, oh, but we would have to pay GST, and it would be so hard coming across the border, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I actually think we should ignore that, and because things like Anime North are huge conventions, and they don't seem to have that problem. So yeah, but Chicago usually can find a cheap flight. You know?
Yeah, too bad because I mean sometimes you can't go over there because like staff thing.
I
kind of stuck there. It's like oh
I
no.
really I had some moral quandaries about flying to the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, other questions that people might have. Okay. Even if you don't have a question, remember the main point is go buy something and build it, or just sculpt it yourself, or go paint something. And the thing about it is you will find it super relaxing, probably, and fulfilling in the sense that it's really good to try to let your ideas come out and see about other people. It might not at first, they might not seem like they're working out, but you spend some time, you know, and I really do recommend this as a hobby, okay? Be creative. Any other questions? I rushed through everything I realized, and then I realized I had more time. So I'm killing time right now. I can always clear out of it. Okay, you're good? Yeah. Is that a question?
I kind of have a question. If someone hasn't ever built anything, what do you recommend for them to start?
I mean, Bandai, that has a bunch of anime, not just Gundam, but a lot of figures, stuff from Dragon Ball Z, stuff from Naruto, other stuff like that. A million tons of Pokemon models. They are amazing because you basically just can snap them together and they like I built. So there's a website called rebelscum.com, and they wanted somebody to build a Millennium Falcon, and it was the terror of my life because it has lights inside it, and so I keep testing the lights to see if they work. But there comes a time where you have to take the top surface of the ship and made it to the bottom, and it's like once you snap it together, it's not coming apart. No, not really, you know. So it was, yeah. It's a terror. 290 decals. And yeah, I was building it for somebody else. So there were all these weird things, you know. I said, okay, I want to have Luke and Han in the gun turrets, but I want to use Ben. So I want Ben to be a Force Ghost in the cockpit. And it's like, oh, I don't know if you can do that. Oh, I can send you a picture. So I sent a picture of Ben as Force Ghost sitting with Princess Leia and Chewie and everybody. And I got back, oh, that's really cool. In fact, the guys who are building it for might want you to do another one like that. You know? But it was terrible. Because it's so, but it's amazing too. So there are simple kits, you know. So I would look around here or something, look for Bandai kit, and you know, and when you get better at it, there's all kinds of like capital-rate nippers, so you can cut off the little things at the side, so you can't see them. And if you buy the right sand and stuff, you can polish the plastic so you can't even see where the cup was and stuff like that. And you can learn to paint and stuff. And you can start by just snapping together cool stuff. You know, so we should do it.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Right. That's a good question. Bandai has that set that you can see around. It's a skeleton and Godzilla.
Yeah, there's that for it. There's one.
It's really recent, and it was designed by artist, designer for Toho, also manga artist, whose name is going to escape me.
No, not you. Shinji Nishikawa.
Nishikawa.
Shinji Nishikawa.
So, Shinji gets in there. But Nishikawa is a model builder. So, and Bandai now has English in their thing. So there's a whole thing about Nishikawa about how, well, the problem with Godzilla models are the tails, because they take up too much space. So I curved the tail as much as I could to keep it realistic, but still, take up minimum shell space. But that model kit, like a lot of Bandai, you get dinosaurs where you build a skeleton and then the skin go on top. But you don't have to put the skeleton inside Godzilla. You can have a Godzilla skeleton model and a Godzilla 2014 style, American Godzilla.
Yeah.
So, and like I say, Art Club is beautiful. It's going to come out in, I think, about November, maybe a bit earlier. And I'm not sure about Hiroshima and Hasegawa. But there's styrene now, if you want to go styrene. I mean, the thing with Godzilla is there's three materials. There's styrene, vinyl, and resin. Resin is probably the most complicated because you're probably going to have to drill holes and put metal pins in it to make sure everything's solid enough that it glues down. Vinyl is pretty easy, almost as easy as styrene. You just heat it up, trim it, because it was poured into a copper mold. And while it was still hot, bathed in water and reached in and they pulled it out. All the vinyl toys you see are done like that. And it's pulled out, pops back into shape. So what you've got on vinyl pieces is a pour spout where it was poured in copper. So what you do is, when I cut myself, you heat it up and then you trim off the pour spout and the pop it together. So there's companies like Billiken has amazing stuff in vinyl. Kaiju is repopulating a lot of their old vinyl. If you look on Hobby in Japan, Billiken's hard. You have to get a Japanese process because they have a tendency to go, okay, we made 500 more and they're on sale this morning. So it's like, oh great, and maybe the proxy will get it for you, maybe not. But I mean, there's affordable styrene. I think that Kaiju one comes in about under $60 Canadian. It's on Hobby. If you look for Art Club Godzilla, it's beautiful. I mean, it's breathtaking. So that's an easy way to start. But certainly, like Bandai and all these Japanese kits that you don't need to use any glue or anything like, and they're cast in colors, so if you don't want to paint, like to me, painting is the fun part. Okay, that's the really cool thing. But you can sort of work your way to it, and have your display.
I mean, that with decal, with a decal style, and well, I hate sticker.
Oh yeah, it's much better.
Get a sticker out of the way. I want a decal instead.
We're talking about some kits come with what are called water slides. You put them in warm water and it comes up and you can stick them on the kit. A lot of Bandai kits come with stickers. But yeah, sometimes the stickers are okay.
You can use toothpicks to press it down. It looks decently well.
So it depends on where it is. Against white, it's pretty good. Against the color, not so good maybe because you can see it. But anyway, any last questions? Well, we've got it ready.
I just came in, but I was
Yeah.
going to ask what's your views on traditional Tokusatsu, like they actually wear on a suit, versus something like Garo, where it's mostly
CG?
Yeah.
I mean, very well, not the first, the second trip I took to Japan, I got to go to a Fujiwara shop, and they're working on a suit, he goes, Japanese, traditional style, and it's like, that's the coolest, I think, right? But, it's a mix of CG and,
like Garo, it is technically impossible to move in that suit.
Yeah. No, I'm aware of that. I think, I mean, it's better now than it was, because when they were first transitioning to CGI, it was like really not great, At this point, it's like, oh, it looks pretty good. Same with Ultraman, it looks much better now, So, I mean, but I love physical, yeah. I mean, that's an old man. Okay. Oh, we still got 8 minutes. Okay, I have one more question. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I know you've been trying to get at least Japanese guests to come into cons.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more likely now, especially with the booming popularity of -1? Because, we've been in this market for God knows how long.
I mean, every year I talk to my friend who's an agent for a bunch of Japanese people about trying to get a contact here. Never seems to work out. And there's, I mean, and he's got a lot of anime people as well. Like, he's got the guy who was the voice for, the woman who's the voice for Astro Boy is one of his clients. the guy who was the voice for Science Ninja Control Gatchaman.
Gotcha,
Yeah. He's one of the clients, but there's a lot of suit actors and designers and stuff. Like I say, Kaiju, yeah, so it'd be really cool to get some of those people here. I mean, in terms of traditional Japanese actors, only Takegawa is sort of, well, Takegawa, there are a few other ones. So, it would be neat to get them here because they're cool. And like I said, Wakazo was super happy to come to Chicago again. I asked him if he wanted to come back. Super happy. So having a suit maker would probably be easy. I think Wakazo would love to come to Chicago or something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Somebody's got to work out a plan. We talk to the people who organize here. We figure out somebody who wants to sponsor something.
I would love to meet Kitagawa-san again. Like,
Yeah. Kitagawa was great. Like I say, take it to the story. Go ahead. No, that's fine. Well, spoons is one thing. I have another friend who suggests have a model mule. Buy a model that's super cheap and if you don't care about it, but that has a lot of textures and things on it, and paint them, and play around with painting, dry brush and wash, and try a bunch of different painting techniques. And you can do layers because part of painting is not putting up too much paint, so you can do multiple layers on that thing and test it out. Yeah, what you can do is $10, get that detail out and try it out, and then do it. The other thing you can do is buy a super expensive model kit. Like I bought that, RX-78-2 unleashed, which is like, I built a lot of models, not for me. But, dropping $400 on a model kit often makes you go, I better be good at this.
And then so they wanted to just break. I have like
Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't decided what to do with it yet. I've got too many resin Godzilla kits I'm building right now, so I can
yeah, I bought like one.
Can I just thank you guys for coming out and listening to me? I'm sure you got off to a little rough start. I'm back tomorrow! Can I do this really awful selfie with you behind me? Just a second. Wait a second, I gotta reverse. Well, I gotta reverse it. And you've all got to wave. Like, put your hands up. Say hi. Hi. Thank you. Solve me my ego or something. Thank you so much for coming out.
Some of the pieces right here.
What's that?
Some of the pieces. One of the armor thing, right?
You gonna stay here?
I'll probably go in a bit.
I'm just gonna go to
Not sure which one.
It
It was on a chair.
They were doing painting stuff.
And then after that,
Oh god.
go home.
Thanks everybody. Have a good time. Have a good weekend. Thank you. And don't forget, these guys are going to be talking about mecha design and science fiction design.
Hey, Stan, tell us with your panelists tomorrow.
I'm going to give you just a second. The one I'm going to Japan is, I think, at 1 o'clock. I'm going to just confirm it.
Wait, Stan, what was for research, Mothra's main tag? The cosplayer, what's her tag? Science. Asking for a friend, right? Asking for a friend.
Right.